So maybe one of the most famous people to ever live in Georgetown was a guy named Drew Pearson. Now in the 40s and 50s and part of the 60s, he was a syndicated columnist with somewhere between 20 to 50 million people reading his words, along with a nightly radio show. It was called The Washington Merry-Go-Round. And he lived here, in this beautiful house. And actually back then there was an enormous tree that dominated the whole neighborhood that fell down maybe 40 years ago. Anyway, some people called him a mudraker. He was a hard-hitting journalist who wasn't above like talking about leaks and doing just about anything to get a story. He didn't really fit in with the rest of the Georgetown set because people were nervous, what they might say around him. It wasn't like he played by the same rules as everyone else. And during this period, across the street was where Chip Bohlen lived. So across the street is Chip Bohlen's house. Now this guy is a storied diplomat. He starts out as the interpreter for FDR in both Yalta and Tehran, the Russian interpreter. And then from there becomes a Triple Crown ambassador, including the Soviet Union, which is what he was really an expert at. And then this house ends up being kind of like a salon for all these important people like Dean Acheson and George Kennan and all kinds of secret stuff going on. And across the street is Drew Pearson. The biggest hullabaloo was McCarthy definitely did not want him to become the ambassador, thought he was soft on communism, and there were lots of leaks and crazy things that were going on during his confirmation hearings. And every day, Drew Pearson was coming out with something new to say about it. He couldn't figure out how or why. But I have to say, this house has always been important for me and my family and most of the people in Georgetown because this is where Mr. Peabody lived for the last 40 years. Mr. Peabody, Mike Peabody, Malcolm Peabody, was maybe the most popular guy in the whole neighborhood. Lived into his 90s, a generous soul in every way. He was a Republican, but he helped his brother become governor of Massachusetts in the 60s, who was a Democrat. And everything about him was just funny, thoughtful, and terrific, and we all miss him.